Welcome to Inclusion Influencers, brought to you by the National Alliance for Accessible Golf. I'm Dave Barton, Executive Director of the Alliance. Our goal with these interviews is to highlight the people and organizations in the game of golf that are making a difference in the lives of individuals with disabilities. This includes golfers out there leading the way by showing others what is possible, organizations that dedicate resources and facilities to bring people into the game, and others that support, educate, inform, and perhaps inspire you to learn more and get yourself and others involved. Golf is truly a game for all abilities. Our guest today is Amy Bockerstette, who burst onto the scene of golf in January of 2019 when she played the famous par 3 16th hole with Gary Woodland and Matt Kuchar during the Tuesday practice round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Confidently stating, "I got this," prior to her greenside bunker shot, which she knocked to 8 feet and then drained the putt for par. Gary Woodland is quoted as saying, "I've been blessed with a lot of cool things on the golf course, but that is by far the coolest thing I've ever experienced." Gary also credits his 2019 U.S. Open victory at Pebble Beach. In Amy's words, "I got this," as an inspiration for his victory. Later that year, around Amy's 21st birthday in October, Amy and her parents, Jenny and Joe, launched the I Got This Foundation to promote golf inclusion and playing opportunities for people with Down syndrome and other intellectual disabilities. Amy's golf story started before that par three, and we're going to get into that in just a bit. And we're also lucky today to be joined by Amy's parents, Joe and Jenny, and the I Got This Foundation Executive Director, Tracy Hupko. Welcome to the show, everyone. How are you this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning. We're great. Thank you.
Good
Morning,
morning.
Dave. Thank you.
Dave, if
Thank
I
you.
got for one correction, the I Got This Foundation was technically started by Amy's sister, Lindsay. So it was Jenny, Joe, and Lindsay. Lindsay actually kickstarted it. So
That's
thank you.
awesome. Well, that's a good correction. We're going to just let that stay in the recording because that's good to know because I didn't pick up on that anywhere when I was searching for it. So that's fantastic, and I appreciate the update. So a true family effort to get this ball rolling then, right?
Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, let's go and do this. Well, Amy, good morning, and thanks for being on the show today.
Yes, thanks, Dave. I like to stay busy, act, act digital, working at five, and pick up personally.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk about, the I Got This Foundation in a little bit, but I want to learn a little bit more about you, Amy, okay, if that's all right. We'll talk about the I Got This Foundation. So, how long have you been playing golf?
I've been playing up in eighth grade. When I was 14 years old, I started playing about 12 years.
12 years. That's pretty impressive. And I understand you played on your high school team as well, and then played college golf on a scholarship at Paradise Valley Community College in Arizona, right?
Yes, that's right. I played three varsity matches. It was 4 years of Paradise Valley Community College. I went to nationals in my third year. It was so exciting.
That's very cool. I did not play college golf, and so I'm really impressed by that. I don't know if I was thinking about golf in college. I was thinking about a lot of other things, but golf might not have been one of them. But I think that's very, very cool. But I know besides golf, you do a lot of other things too, and you do them very well. And I think you've competed in swimming and volleyball and maybe even baseball, I hear.
Yes.
Tell me
Uh,
about the baseball.
yes, baseball is amazing. I miss playing baseball since not time.
Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yeah, she played Challenger baseball, and
Yes.
but she's not done that lately.
Excellent. I think the last time I played baseball, I might have been 13 or 14 years old. But we have one other thing in common, Amy, and I think you probably, actually, I know you do it better than I do. Um, I took piano lessons in the third grade, and so I can still play two songs. They're not very good, and they only require like two fingers to play them like this, right? Which no one can see what I'm doing on the screen here. But so, do you like playing the piano, and do you have like a favorite song? What do you really like to do with the piano?
Yes. I've been playing piano for longer. My favorite song on the piano will be Silent Night.
Your favorite song is Silent Night?
Yeah.
You know what? And this is a true story. of the two songs that I can still play somewhat on the piano, Silent Night is one of them. And that's the true story. And I've got an almost 6-year-old granddaughter now, and we pulled out an old lap harp and broke it out over Christmas, and I could still kind of pick Silent Night on there. So there you go. But I bet you your version of it is better than mine. So very cool. Back to golf, you've played in a lot of golf tournaments and you play in a lot of adaptive golf tournaments around the country. And I know this year in particular, like probably the previous few years, you've been very busy traveling and playing golf. You've played adaptive opens in Arizona, in Florida, in Georgia, and I believe you've had a second place finish at the Florida Adaptive Open and even won your category. So you've been playing pretty good, huh?
Yes. I've been going in Georgia, I guess second place actually.
Second in Florida.
Second in Florida.
Mhm.
And I got a trophy in Georgia.
Yeah, I think net and gross divisions in Georgia or something like that. You played really well, kind of across the board, right?
Yes.
Very good. Well, what is your secret to success on the golf course, Amy? I know you really like playing golf, which is if all of us just focused on really liking golf, we'd all play better. But when you're playing golf and you have a really good day on the golf course, and sometimes all of us don't have great days on the golf course, but I think every day on the golf course is a great day. What do you like about your game when you're playing really well?
Um, we were all best friends.
He's asking about what do you like about golf?
That's about golf. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Hmm, I like to play golf with my teammates, meeting new friends, meeting new people, taking selfies, and I loved it.
You like having fun.
Having fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, team and friends and other players out there and socializing with them and stuff like that. I think that's my favorite part of the game as well.
Yes.
Yep. Now,
Why she plays.
Yeah.
what was that one?
That's why she plays.
Oh
To
yeah,
have-
absolutely. I wish we all played for that reason, to tell you the truth. Now on the golf course, there's driving and chipping and putting and pitching. Which of those do you think is your strength, the best part of your game? Or are they all just great?
I like putting the best.
Very good. I tell you, if you can putt well, you can get yourself out of a lot of jams on the golf course, can't you?
Yeah, probably a couple.
Well, not only are you one of the I Got This Foundation founders, as your mom mentioned with your sister as well, and your parents, Joe and Jenny, you're also, one of the ambassadors, the primary ambassador, I think, for the I Got This Foundation. So, what would you like people to kind of know about the I Got This Foundation and what y'all are doing?
Yes, we started, I got this foundation on my 21st birthday. It's super important. So then we started. I got a Scout Academy to teach people with disabilities to learn how to play golf.
Very good. And Joe and Jenny, that's great, Amy. And I think at this point too as well, I'd like to, get some thoughts on you on, the start of the foundation and kind of how things began and where you've got it going now. So Joe and Jenny, if you want to, I'd love to hear from you about it.
Yeah, so after the PAR in 2019, we were doing various events around the country, and people were really coming up to Amy and congratulating her on the effort. And it was our daughter, Lindsay, who said, you really need to form a foundation in order to sort of pay it forward, right? She's been so blessed, like the PARs changed our lives, and we wanted to benefit other people from that event. Interestingly, Dave, the National Alliance for Accessible Golf was one of the primary sort of impetus to where we've gone as a foundation. I'll let Tracy talk about that in a little bit. The organization approached us in 2020, I believe it was, and said, we'd like to help you get off the ground if you can craft a program that we can help sponsor, then we created our very first golf academy here in Phoenix. I think we had 25 or 30 students, and that really became the basis for what's now become the playing instruction and instructor training that Tracy can talk about in a bit. So really been a wonderful experience, and we're very, very pleased and feel privileged to be able to help others. We'd like to see more people like Amy playing on the golf course.
Absolutely. Jenny, anything to throw on top of that?
No, I think Joe pretty much covered that. You really helped us. The National Alliance for Accessible Golf really helped us kind of go from like, we started the foundation and we were advised by a friend, Michelle Tesori, Paul Tesori's wife, who at that point, I'm not sure if she still does this, helped run some professional athletes foundations. And she said, your direction will come to you. Will come to you where to go. And it really did with that grant and starting the first academy.
That's great, and we appreciate you saying that. It certainly that was a little bit before my time. Although, well, Tracy and I will talk in a moment. We were able to one of the last things we did as we kind of put our grant hold on hold was staying connected with you, and we were pleased to have that opportunity. And Tracy and I will get in that in just a second, but I want to revisit one more thing real quick here with you, Amy, and Joe and Jenny. You do a lot of travel. You log in a lot of airline miles, I guess, going around the country. And it's fatiguing, isn't it? It takes a lot of time and it's hard work, and just you're great advocates for the game of golf and individuals with Down syndrome and intellectual disabilities is fantastic. But when you're not on the road, when you're back in Arizona, what's a typical week like for you, kind of unrelated to golf, or is that not possible at your house anymore? Or is it all
Well,
golf all the time?
it's a lot of golf because Amy has to practice, so that's important. But Joe is still working full time, so he has a business, so he could talk about that. But Amy keeps us so busy because she does not only golf, she plays piano, she's involved in theater, she still takes speech therapy. Um, uh, she works out at the gym and she takes a couple of dance classes a week. So all of that kind of keeps us busy with getting her to her different activities. And so it's a lot of fun and it's busy at home. And we have a couple of grandkids. Lindsay, our oldest, is a single mom. So we try to be there for her as much as we can.
So Amy also works 15 hours a week.
Completely forgot about that. Amy,
Yeah.
what do you
Yeah.
do?
What do you do, Ames?
It's a grocery store courtesy clerk.
She's a
Yeah.
courtesy clerk at Fry's grocery store, which is a Kroger company.
Nice, very nice.
Right?
Yes.
Well, you sound a lot busier than I am. Maybe I should be busier, I think is what I should do. That's fantastic. Well, Amy, you told me that you started playing golf around the eighth grade, and I wanted to, ask your parents, was, Joe and Jenny, was that when you saw it? What kind of steered you towards, like it would for any child that, hey, my child might be interested in golf. I mean, a lot of parents look at this, they don't know when to start their child, but with Amy, you had to see something and go, okay, this looks good.
Yeah, so it was quite serendipitous. So in eighth grade, actually, it would be the end of seventh grade in the summer. Her grade school had a charity scramble to benefit the athletics department. And so we bought a foursome in that scramble. And I invited Amy. This was before Jenny played. So I invited Amy to come along. And just because her friends would be there, so I bought her some snacks and juice box and things like that, and got her a 7-iron, a child 7-iron. And she came on the course with us, and I said, you can hit shots, you can ride along, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And she hit a couple of shots, and we looked at one another and said, holy cow, she can hit a golf ball. And it was just one of those moments where I came home, said to Jenny, you won't believe how well she can hit a golf ball. And Jenny's like, well, we got to get her in lessons. So we started in lessons at that point. It's been a long journey, very much a get better every year kind of an exercise, lots of fits and starts and ups and downs along the way. But she's had the same golf coach her entire career, and we'll see him when we're done today with the podcast. And she's really just stuck with it and continued to improve. Became more competitive over time. She joined Girls Golf of Phoenix, which was a terrific organization in helping her learn how to compete with other girls, meet other really good golfers. And it's just really been a fantastic experience.
Yeah, I've been really fortunate and appreciative of the opportunity to, cross y'all's paths. And I mean that sincerely. It's a, y'all been in this particular community for a long time. I dabbled in it with when I was instructing back in 2007 and 8, but mostly on the veteran side, as a golf pro. And I've really just been, what's a good word for it? It's really motivating to work in a community like this where there are so many individuals that are passionate about, helping people get in the game or play better golf or whatever. And I think, y'all are very, very high up on that list. And, one of the things when I watch, golf tournaments, and especially when, Amy, when you're playing, because I've had the great chance to watch you play and hit some amazing shots at some adaptive opens and in those events. You've got an amazing, competitive spirit, and you have a super high level of sportsmanship that you show with your fellow competitors and a lot of positive energy, right? Which I can feel like just saying it out loud, talking with y'all right now. I'll ask Amy. Amy, where does all your positive energy come from?
I'll give me help on that.
Amy has a lot of love in her body and her soul, right? And her spirit.
Yeah, positive energy to make good workout.
Positive working out. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
So
love
Dave,
Yeah.
I'll tell you, the one of our favorite things about playing in adaptive tournaments, we play with all these fantastic golfers, right? And mostly men, not always, but it's a lot more geared towards men than women in the adaptive community. And one of the things Amy loves to do is give birdie hugs. Right.
Okay.
And so the guys sort of learn that that's a feature of playing with Amy, right? Is you make a birdie and you get a hug from Amy. And if Amy makes a birdie, then everybody gets a hug. So
Fantastic.
it's good cheer that she loves to spread, and she loves meeting new people. And really many, many, many friends that, we go to a tournament now, and it's, you got to allow time in the schedule to see everybody again and say hi and give hugs and get pictures. And it's really just a fun social event for us.
I'm going to definitely have to pay better attention to the birdies that are made the next time I'm watching a golf tournament for sure, and go from there. And you touched on it, Jenny. I believe you've got some great relationships with some golf coaches and golf courses. Certainly, I'm sure in your area. And if you like to, you're welcome to mention any of these coaches or golf courses that you've worked with in your area anywhere that have been great for not only helping Amy become a better golfer, but also for your organization.
Joe, you want to take that? You kind of take the lead on golf.
Yeah. So I'll mention two names locally, and then we'll let Tracy talk about the national, because she's really developed many relationships around the country through I Got This Foundation. Matt Acuff has been Amy's primary instructor since she was 14 from the beginning. Matt also designed the curriculum that we use at I Got This Foundation, and he also designed the curriculum that we use for instructor training that you all participated in us creating. And so we're eternally grateful for Matt. I often get asked by people if I've taught Amy her swing, or where does Amy's swing come from? And I certainly can't take credit for her swing. Matt teaches me and has taught me alongside Amy now for 12 years. So I attend many of the lessons, and we really work together, and I try to take to the course what he teaches at the range. And then the second thing I'll mention is Toka Sticks Golf Club. who has been just a tremendous partner in with the I Got This Foundation. Our I Got This Championship as a Toka Sticks now for the second straight year, and clinics and camps, and they've been a true partner with us. And I'll leave the rest for Tracy when she talks about the foundation.
Okay, great. And we're going to get to Tracy here pretty quick. She's being so patient here, and I appreciate that, Tracy. So, the closer, bringing in the closer, whatever. But so just really one more, I think, just for for you and for Amy and of course Gene and Joe, if you want to add on to it. But certainly, I know y'all are great friends with Gary Woodland, whom I've certainly never met. But so it must be pretty awesome to see him back out there playing golf again. He's recuperating still from a brain tumor, but it looks like he's getting his kind of game going on. He had a pretty good performance at the PNC recently there in Florida with his dad. So really just an opportunity if you'd like to say anything that you like to Gary. Hello, or how you doing? Anything you want to say to Gary Woodland?
Yes, Gary, I miss you so much. I hope to see you again. I'll see you in this February. I hope to see you there.
That sounds great. That's awesome. I'm sure he's going to love to hear that, and it remains one of the great golf stories that there's been. All right, well, so I'm going to kick over to the executive director here for a second, if that's okay, and let Tracy share some knowledge with us. Tracy, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for this opportunity for having us here today.
Yeah, this is, like I said, definitely the highlight of my week. We met right after I began here in early 2022, and you were one of the first calls. And it's like when you called me, I was like, okay, I guess I need to kind of look up this organization because you're playing catch up. But we were thrilled to be able to help you, and it was clear to see that what y'all were doing had really good direction and purpose. And when we're giving out grants, which we were before, which we certainly aspire to do again in the future, it's certainly a goal of mine. Is organizations come along every now and then where it's you can see the path, you can see their path because they show it to you, and we continue to wish you the best success. But tell us a little bit about your journey in the golf world that brought you to the I Got This Foundation. I think you had some time with the LPGA a little bit and some other things, but a little bit about Tracy Hupko here before we get into the I Got This Foundation.
Sure, sure. Well, my background was never going to be in golf. I was actually in sales most of my career, and I kind of stumbled into the role at the LPGA as a sales and marketing manager, assigned to the Founders Cup here in Phoenix. And one of our goals was to increase our attendance, to increase sponsorships, become more of a community partner. And along the way, I heard this story of an amazing young golfer, high school golfer, getting ready to play in college, who happened to have Down syndrome. And I spoke with Scott and said, this is an opportunity for us to really connect with our community. Scott was our tournament director. And he heard my idea and he listened and said, all right, reach out and see if they'd be interested in participating in some way in the Founders Cup. And I said, well, I don't want it to be some way. Let's do the Pro-Am. Let's see if she wants to participate and play in the Pro-Am. So I made a call to Jenny, who was actually in the middle of a tournament with Amy at the time, and I didn't realize it. And she said, we're interested, but we're busy. We're in the middle of golf. Let me call you back. And so Amy actually participated in a Pro-Am at the Founders Cup. It was her first professional appearance. And I absolutely fell in love with the family and everything they were doing. And through my time at the LPGA, I got to know the founders of the LPGA. And one story that resonates or that would be repeated again and again was the story of how when those ladies started the LPGA, they were always told, oh, this is a great idea, women in golf, but is there a need for it? And later on, I was approached by Joe about participating as executive director in the foundation. I was excited at the opportunity. I started talking to some folks at the LPGA about that next step and what I was going to do. And suddenly people were saying to me, oh, that's a great idea. It'll be fun. You'll be great. But is there a need for it? And then that moment, I realized my time at the LPGA wasn't about being with the LPGA. It was preparing me to be able to come to the foundation, take on this role, and truly help launch programs nationwide that make a difference.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think it's interesting where these journeys take us sometimes, and where we end up versus where we thought we might be going for those things. But we've already touched on our history with you as far as again our again, we appreciate the opportunity to support organizations like yours. So let's get into some details, a little bit about the basics of the I Got This Foundation program, and then I'd love to hear, about where you've taken it, because I know as we talked about, a couple of years ago, you had this vision of some chapters around the country, and I know you've made great progress on that. So let's get to the basics of what the program does. I think you've got a team approach that's involved in that that's really intriguing, but I'm going to give you the keys back again here, and I'm just going to sit back and listen and get smarter.
It's dangerous to give me the keys to talk, I'll tell you that. So as we talked about or mentioned, in 2021, we hosted 2 academies here in Arizona. Around 25 athletes participated. And I joined the organization in the summer of 22. And one of the first things we did, Joe and I sat down, talked about what took place in 21. I was there as a volunteer taking some photos, so I was able to see that firsthand. And then we talked about where do we see the program going? How do we make it better? How do we reach more folks? And so the idea was that after those initial academies, there wasn't a next step. So we kind of took a look and said, all right, let's develop a long-term program, not just that first step about experiencing golf, but how do we keep folks engaged in golf? And so our academy at the time became a golf camp. We turned that into kind of the second step, if you will. It would be the program that would not only introduce golf, but would develop a foundation for golf skills to be able to take someone with an intellectual disability who's never played and give them the confidence and the skill set to be able to go to a range, to be able to practice, to be able to learn the craft so that one day they could become a competitive golfer if that was their interest. And then we said, this is great, but we also need that starting point. So how do we get the folks that are going to fill the camps? And by some research and some experimentation, we created the Discovery Golf Clinic. That is truly the first step for someone with an intellectual disability to experience golf. We bring them out and they experience the sensory side of the game, the sights, the sounds, the smells at a golf course, things you and I may not think about, but for our community, it's very important that the sensory side get exposed so they're comfortable. So as they move into a golf camp, they feel more natural in the environment. And so we found that that was a great formula and it's worked really well for us. And ultimately, our goal is to create more competitive golfers, the opportunity for more people to experience everything golf has to offer. So we've also developed the I Got This Championship, which I'll talk a little bit more about down the road. So all these programs were in place. We were ready to go. We had folks from around the country interested in what we were doing, how it worked. And we realized we also need to take a look at our instructors. We don't want volunteers. We want our programs to be professionally led. And so with the thanks to the help of the National Alliance for Accessible Golf, we received a grant and were able to create our online instructor academy. And to date, we've had nearly 50 instructors across the United States participate in this program to help us actually execute. Just this year in 11 states, we hosted clinics, camps, and the most recent one was at the LPGA Annika, driven by Gainbridge in Florida. So we are expanding every year, and it's really exciting to be a part of that.
Yeah, 11 states is amazing. And I think too, that's where, you talk about where you came from. I mean, certainly, even though you were sales, then got in the LPGA, that baseline of a network is certainly coming in helpful, I would think, with these relationships you established when you were there to do some of these things. I mean, when you start dropping names like Annika and being involved with some of those events, that's really good. And it's an intriguing program. And one of the things we talked about previously before, I think one of the things that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but there's an element of your programming as well that it's beyond just instructing the student and the golfer themselves. There's also often a teammate or a family member or someone associated that's getting lessons as well, because I think one of the big gaps with golf instruction, like you mentioned, is folks get lessons and then they go home and they don't play and they don't have
Right.
anybody to play with or someone to keep them engaged between lessons. And that's true for,
Exactly.
I mean, any golfer. I mean, any golfer. So tell me a little bit about that and how you guys have capitalized on the importance of that.
Of course. Well, when you're working with our constituency, communication is key. And often we would have an athlete come to us that we are learning about for the first time. And when you're doing 5 days of lessons, you need kind of a fast track to be able to communicate with that athlete. So as we were putting together the idea of the clinic and the camp, Joe and I talked about introducing playing partners. And a playing partner is typically an adult who is a constant in the athlete's life. They are invited to come out, or they're required to come out and participate alongside their athlete in the clinic and camp. And there are three things they do for us. Number one, they're the bridge to communication with the athlete. They will help us understand those little nuances of when they're excited, when they're upset, when they're understanding, or when they're maybe struggling. Number two, they become an assistant coach. As our instructors are working with the athletes at large, they will then give the playing partner an opportunity to continue that instruction with the athlete as the instructors move from one athlete to the next to make sure everybody is comprehending things. And number three, they are the bridge to golf. They are the thing that is going to keep our athletes practicing. They are the ones that are going to be responsible for taking them to the range. We give them the tools to become that coach at home, whether you're in the backyard and we're talking about building motion with a miniature basketball that you can toss back and forth, whether they're going to the golf course and they're practicing their putting and they're focused on lining up for the putt. All of these tools are given to our playing partners as we're instructing the athletes. So it's a really unique experience in that we're not just instructing the athlete, we're instructing that parent or playing partner as well.
Yeah, I think that has to have reaped some significant benefits, I think, for not only the golfer, but also just, this the whole fabric of the surrounding, family and friends around the golfer. Because I think again,
It's
go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. We have actually seen instances where a father and son who Joe and Jenny may have seen throughout tournaments across the country, how you can see moments of tension between them when they're on the golf course because they're in that parent-child role. And working with Matt Acuff and all of our instructors, we teach them to take a step back and lose the parent role and become the instructor role or that coach role, the support role. And we will see the dynamic between parents and kids change. All of a sudden, they're a little bit happier. There's a little less tension because they're learning that they have some things in common, that they have something else to talk about, something else to work on together. And it doesn't have to be a struggle. It can truly bring joy to both of them.
Yep, and very informative. Like, in our line of work, we're all about access and inclusion, access to the facilities, barrier-free environments, and the other piece of that is the word, inclusion. It gets thrown around in different ways. But I think, it's easy to forget that, yeah, you're working on inclusion to bring these golfers into the game, individuals with
Mhm.
disabilities, but the major byproduct of that as well, a major byproduct of that as well, is the inclusion of the surrounding family members and
Of
friends
course.
who could be drawn into the game and just kind of again creates that other new entire ecosystem for that particular family or group of friends beyond just the golf. And golf is at the core of what's kind of, bringing those folks together. So I think it's not just inclusion for the golfer. It goes beyond that. That has great benefits, I think, on family members as well. I would suspect.
Yes, and also the community at large. One thing that we find, we have about 95% of our participants are junior golfers, or excuse me, 95% of our golfers are first-time golfers. About 33% of our golfers tend to be female, so that actually is a little bit higher than the rest of the adaptive golf space.
Mhm.
And then there's a large number of individuals that are the age range is amazing. So we have 25% of junior golfers, 75% are over the age of 18. So suddenly we're taking this community at large and we're showing that it doesn't have to be segmented into gender, into age, into race. This is truly a game for everyone to play at any stage of life.
Absolutely, and well said. I think you touched on it, maybe the championship that you've done. Beyond that, is anything new on the horizon here for the golf world to be on the lookout for with I Got This Foundation? Or are you kind of in that growth and program expansion phase right now?
Well, growth is definitely key for us for 2026. And as we actually get into February, we will be hosting our fourth annual I Got This Championship. And it's exciting because it's truly the only adaptive event in the country specifically for people with an intellectual disability. So it becomes a very tight-knit group of folks. This year we have 40 athletes from, 40 athletes from 20 states and Canada participating. So we see our reach growing just by the programs that we're implementing across the country. And our focus is really to keep introducing those clinics and camps to more states so that more athletes are coming to Arizona in the future to participate, to experience that thrill of competition.
Well, you're always kind enough to keep me informed about that tournament, and I vow one of these days I will have a budget that will let me get out there, get out to Arizona to just be an interested spectator for sure. Well, we're kind of getting to the end of our time together. Tracy, do you have anything else you want to add before I kind of get back to Amy with a few questions?
No, I would like to just add that one thing that we've been pleasantly surprised with over the last year and a half to 2 years is the impact that that instructor academy has had on the programs and the quality program we're able to develop and deliver across the country. We always reach out to PGA and LPGA teaching professionals first and foremost to engage them because we feel that our athletes deserve the very best in instruction. And once they're on board and they take our program that Matt Acuff created, that we put together, the videos were amazing that we were able to host online. So anyone around the country, around the world really can take the academy. To see that in action, to listen to instructors who at first might think, I'm an instructor, I know what I'm doing. Why am I going to watch this? I have not had one walk away and not come to me and say, oh my God, that was amazing information. I can use this in any of my lessons. And that's really an important point for us. What we're doing with our athletes, how we instruct, what we instruct, anyone can learn this way. It's all in the delivery method. And I'm very proud of what the I Got This Foundation has put together and the support that we get from instructors and courses around the country. Because without the support of courses who allow us to access their practice facilities, without the instructors that are willing to step up and take time out of their day to become certified with our programs, we wouldn't have the success we have today. And as Joe mentioned, Toka Sticks Golf Club has been a huge supporter of the I Got This Foundation. They welcome our athletes with open arms. They're excited. They talk about us all year long to anybody that'll listen. So we're very fortunate to have them as our home course for the championship, and many courses across the country support us. So thank you to everyone who has ever been involved in one of the I Got This programs.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I love programs that are educating and creating more coaches, right? And I believe Amy actually said something like this a year or so ago about more instructors means more players and more golfers. There was something like that where, the importance of coaches. And I'm a proud PGA member, and we do a lot of work with the PGA and the LPGA. But, sometimes it's nice to have these other programs out there that are also generating coaches and coach information and, kind of out of the box and some different and unique things, because sometimes the smaller organizations, the nonprofits around the world, they can move quicker. They can affect change a little bit differently in certain areas compared to the larger organizations. So I think it's fantastic. So thanks very much for sharing all that great information about the foundation. So Amy, I'm going to come back to you now for a couple more questions, if that's okay.
Yes, of course, that's fine.
All right, we call them rapid fire, but they're not going to come too fast. I'm going to ask one at a time. So here's the first question for you, Amy, and then we'll start wrapping up our show. Um, is there anyone famous that you would like to play golf with, and why?
Mine is Nick Jonas, will be Twins Brothers. He plays golf also. Now I met Twins Brothers Golf on YouTube also. I'm gonna ask Nick Jonas to play golf with me.
Okay, now I've heard you answer this question before, and it might have been at the GCSAA conference in Arizona. So that has not happened yet. You have not played golf with Nick Jones yet. Okay.
Not for lack of trying.
All right.
Right.
Well, we will officially do our best to help put a renewed push on that agenda in our February magazine, whatever we can do on social media to see if we can get some momentum going there. That shocks me, quite honestly, to tell you the truth. So good answer, by the way. Very good answer. All right. Amy, you play a lot of golf courses, and you get to play on a lot of really, really nice golf courses around. So I'm kind of jealous because you get to play on some really nice golf courses because you're playing high level competitions with the adaptive golf tournaments and stuff like that. Do you have a favorite golf course?
Yes, my favorite golf course would be Pinehurst. Number 6 golf course is amazing golf course. My friend Saki Duggan, he lives in North Carolina too. We are best friends, catch a buddy, first time every Sunday night. It was amazing.
And you met Zachary at Pinehurst at
I-
the
yeah.
first adaptive.
Yes.
Yeah, the first adaptive open was at Pinehurst number 6. Yeah, and it was hot, if I recall.
We have very fond memories of Pinehurst number 6 because of that inaugural adaptive open. It was an incredible experience.
It's a beautiful part of the country too.
It
It's just
is.
you can't go wrong
It
with it.
is golf heaven around there.
They chose wisely when they decided to do that stuff there. Okay, so Amy,
Yes.
I have one more question for you. Um, when was the last time that you beat your dad in golf?
No, I don't beat my dad. No. He is my caddy. So no.
So
Yeah,
here's the thing, Dave. I keep score, so Amy will never know if she beats me.
I love that. That's fantastic. That's good stuff. Well, Amy, so nice to see you again. I appreciate you taking the time to do this today. I know you're very busy, got a lot of stuff going on. And Jenny and Joe, obviously, great to see you again. Tracy, thanks for the update on the I Got This, and let's stay connected.
Yeah.
This has just been a great way to start 2026, and I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. And I guess with that, is there any other last comments that any of you would like to make before we close the show? I'll just go top to bottom around the corner here. Joe, you're up top left. Anything to add?
I'd just like to say thank you. We very much appreciate the opportunity to participate in this opportunity. You know, the I Got This Foundation had a terrific 25. We're very excited going into 26. Tracy Hupko is a true rock star in the industry. And, it's 25 was our busiest year ever. And hopefully 26 will be a little bit more leveled out. So,
Yeah, excellent.
but we love
Tracy,
participating.
absolutely. Tracy, anything else?
Just thank you not only for having us on today, but truly for your support over the last several years. It was, being able to start our instructor academy was truly a catalyst to making this national program come to life. And so many people benefited from it, not just the instructors, but the athletes, their families. And, you mentioned your mission and what you stand for. And I truly think our programs align so well with it that we're honored to have an opportunity to continue to work with you today, tomorrow, and long into the future.
Well, that's too kind and appreciated, and we wish we could do more, and we're working hard to be able to do that. So, parting shots, Jenny and or Amy. Anything else you'd like to say before we close?
I think the thing that comes to mind for me, Dave, is inclusion is really what brought Amy to where she's at. And it's so important to us. And our passion is golf, and it's been so much fun and for our family that inclusion through golf is what, in the relationship we have with you all, and that purpose also is so important. So we're really just grateful to be here, and we're grateful for Tracy as well, and you all. So thanks so much.
Well, thank you all. Amy, thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes, thank you. We're so happy to be here, and we love you all. To see you amazing as a friend. You're amazing, and I love you.
Awesome. I love you too. All right. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of Inclusion Influencers, and we wish you all a happy new year in our hopes that 2026 brings you lots of birdies and lots of birdie hugs. I guess I need to add that on there now.
Yeah.
But y'all have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Great. Thanks,
Thank
Dave.
you, Dave.